This just in, Dragon has unbanned everyone. Here's where we get a flood of bots. Everyone who's been banned is a bot, Dragon! You fool! Holy shit. I just started fucking stream, bro. I respect your valiant effort to stay subscribed, even though... Oh, chicks to watch. I haven't been streaming much.
Even me?
I guess intervals are a pain in the ass if you have ads live. Hello, lads! Intervallo, gameplay, content, story, blah blah! This intervallo is probably the best yet. It's an insane fucking sentence. Holy shit. I have heard some details. I have heard that Callisto looks a lot better as a person now, and I have heard the middle as an organization looks a lot worse. Dragon, can you put up the spoiler message, please? I don't want to dilly-dally. I'm not going to pull. I'm not going to pull. Fuck that. I'm not going to pull. No. I'm not spending more resources to pull. I don't really care about. Now, I do want to do, like, but I'm wild hunt lopping. You could wild hunt lop and ban people.
오늘은 최대 위험으로 감지되던 시점까지 사망자 없는 관리를 수행했습니다. 새롭게 수용한 환상체 역시 큰 위험 없이 관리할 수 있습니다.
Wait, am I fucking stupid?
예.
Do I have 2 brain cells?
크리포트 폭주 사고가 없다면
Oh my god.
무기한으로 진행한다고 팀 내에 전달하겠습니다.
I've read it for support. Oh, that's actually really nice, yeah. Alright, then we'll do that. Do we just run bleed? I got the ring here. Hold on. Where is she? I got the ring here. We could just run the ring. There we go. Okay, we will. God, it's such beautiful music. It's after they get put in a ring gallery. Shoot to 9.5.1! I mean, yeah. Damn, who died? Smile. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCC researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners, but never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Merceau, apparently the most eligible of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions and pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose, and placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. French GPT, am I mourning correctly? Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Yoshi, that wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in Teacorp? Oh, thou speak of the funeral of young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the WOWIE Association's notarization otherwise. I said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the solution was indeed, as thou sayest, then there was no helping it. Forsooth, yes, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. Oh. It's fine, clock in. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? It had to be the Golden Bow influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in the manor, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now grieving brother, who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff. They fucking forgot the ring's involvement? Yeah, they didn't even mention it! Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over, every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of the funeral didn't exactly leave us with much room to properly express our condolences back then. Was only involved due to Catherine? Whoa. Did they just forget the ring? That's kind of crazy, no? Is it possible to comprehend that there was something other than a hole? Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy being bent on interfering with the execution of the will. I assume that sort of impediment was pretty common for funerals. But apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can confidently say that I've never been to a legitimate funeral. The one in Wuthering Heights was one more proper funerals, if only pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. Seems funerals are far from being everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered rather extravagant to practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time-offs just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died. And after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury him somewhere just to have it stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Sup, nerds? Why is everyone fucking moping? Hell yeah! Hello, Bob. How you doing? At a funeral bomb! Chat, ban that guy. Chat, band together, do a coup d'etat of bombs specifically. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. In this economy? Apparently so. Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, all that rot. Better let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave just for them sods to later desecrate it. In Hongyan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Owenheim scoffed and hung his head. Odious foolishness. All of it. Ban someone in this economy? Comforting the soul of the departed. Another mendicity. Mendacity. Yeah, I had to Google that word. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Someone tell me what odios and mendacity mean. Please. I'm having fucking skeleton fall on your head in God. Hong Yard's just fucking... You look up and I mean, it's pretty normal actually. You look up and you see a guy. You look up and see a skeleton. This is honestly, I'd rather the skeleton. Serving no practical purpose or result. Thank you, Trapezoid. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the fragile living with a fragile excuse to live on. Mendacity is habitual lying. Are those words from his heart or just something he said to convince himself? Whichever was the truth. I couldn't see the look on his face when his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a quick few goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing their end of their existence with the crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh. We're staying until Greg is stable enough to travel. Yeah, how's he doing? Tante says we'll remain here until Greg's condition settles. Sad about the length of this INTERVALLO. I didn't want it to end, but I enjoyed it so much. I've heard it's good. Damn, we don't have to look up. Who? You know, Gregor. Bug guy. Greg had tamed to his senses a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis. Oh! Points at my screen! Ah! In the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there was no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. Say, you won't be leaving just yet. Oh, so you won't be leaving just yet? Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LC wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means that what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Oh, what investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation?! Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. Swipe or two on your skin. Maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No! I'm not giving you my consent! For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic reports for research and observational purposes. You can have Kira instead. Just chain her and contract her. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get the boss. We had to get boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium. The LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department? And their hissy fits. The fucking what? They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. In fact, why are we the Enkerfelin researchers doing this? That doesn't make any sense. The Mirror World Panopticon. Those are the guys that make the extraction tickets, if I remember correctly. And had we allowed them, they would have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So, the least you could do is thank us and be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time! Our researchers are here. Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. But wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into a full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You not going with him? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book, marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected by the time for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off in the year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried him away. They got him! Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have someone else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him too. Got something I said I help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. I was to keep on the eye of researchers to stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. Students fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who'd been filling the air up with the thick cigarette smokes, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vesper and a valiant quest for the new color fix's whereabouts. Faust was still here, too, staring blankly into the air. Is she accessing the Gesellschaft? You seem to have time to spare, manager. As I stood there wondering what I should do to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing a stack of papers, walked over to me. Look up in the emote suggestion. Alright, let me... emote suggestion... It's added. Let me refresh 7TV. There we go. This makes it rather convenient. Things rather convenient. There is something I had intended to discuss with you instead of Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKOA says CH. Wait a minute. Did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up, but I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into another linguistically form equally demanding of it. It would seem that we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause, as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with her relentless questioning. Who else, pray, might know of where he is, thou? Where he is, if thou knowest not. Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of a hair fashioned in the likeness of a bowl. You there? Why don't you join us too? I am very busy looking for the bowl man! Wait, dost thou speak of me? The LCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote and her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vesper's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backwards glance the moment their captor turned their head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, those are tasks that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon! You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. That is assistant number 2. I have have not yet concluded my exchange with the Yellow Harpoon, but no true knight no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service of thee? Delegating the interpretation of manager's speech to sinner number 4 was proven counterproductive. As such, your task will be report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Sinner's virtues. They are asking you what kind of assistance you need. The request for an interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstance is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow had become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes that this was not some guileful scheme to advise to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, Manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem the two of you should be the most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sinner number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders, like, right away? H-O-S-R-A? You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help Faust. Perhaps you could help Faust. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member that you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She has been regained consciousness. Oh. She's not having a good time, is she? I've heard that her announcers peak for real, not gonna lie. The place Hohenheim led us looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber, though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. Oh, I thought there was going to be something after that, but no. This place looks well equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Do we want to ask how expensive the other options are? This counts as reasonable. A windowless room thick with a sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting in the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. Someone recovering from bisection. She didn't look much different from how she appeared when we'd seen her through Sinner's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of extraction? It hasn't yet begun. Actually, we are wading into the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Fuck, I need to voice Kira! Oh, God. Fuck, I need to voice Kira. Hold up. It might take a few lines. 6-7? And what you even doing here? There is work to be done and contingent upon information obtainable only but from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. Following a discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help? Give me one reason I should cooperate! Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely and imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. Well, your survival is not incidental. It is a result of calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting, but with Kira it almost felt as if he had traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent of twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. So we anticipated some form of corporate level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that unlike your typical backstreet syndicates such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of the Great Brother of the Middle, these two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? What are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by any means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would have simply opened up your cranium, harvested your brain, and extracted any and all necessary information without going through such intermediary steps as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available methods to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serum, hypnotic suggestions, electric shocks, and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCD department prefers to distance themselves from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. So freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite see myself today. To be myself today. No, disregard that. That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I would defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities rather than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LC had only just finished laying his dead researchers to rest. And Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Pup wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that. To aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice in a thing in family. Family. Coming from him, a middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's... thrown out? Hate! That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by his name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising as the ST for the bowl cut too. Same taste? Oh, young Ryoshu, could it be that thou dost a protector of the passionate zeal for fixer? I quickly clasped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed in into the conversation. So, what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I could shorten the hesitation. CQ or SYNC right this instant. What's that mean? Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. Sink. Is it such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking a loyalty act straight to the grave? This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll take it if that's what you want so bad. I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. That actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. So once they survive, the ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Who is an outlier in the middle and who is the baseline? Matthias or Ricardo? Neither. Okay. We know for a fact that Matthias is explicitly an outlier in the middle. This is a fact. There's no interpretation. They are both parts of why the middle sucks, but Matthias is such an extreme of that end that he is an exception. Yes, a lot of the middle would have this selfishness that they don't tell other middle members, but Matthias was explicitly, this is denotation, an exception. He was way worse than any other middle member. People didn't like him. I actually recently saw a fantastic character analysis on Matthias. I don't think Matthias used the family as an excuse for the family. Yeah. There was a reason he was kicked out. I saw a fantastic character analysis on Matthias, and that is like everything nice he did to Ryoshu, he only did for Ryoshu, and even then, those nice things came from like a place that didn't really understand how to show affection. I do not think Matthias understands how to show affection properly. I do not think he understands what family is supposed to be. And I do definitely think that he did love Ryoshu, but he did not love Kira. He did not love the rest of the family. I think he cared for specifically and only Ryoshu, because we see him caring for Ryoshu far more than we do any other character. And I do think he had some sort of connection there. No, I disagree. I disagree heavily. I think to dumb Matthias's character down to just being a self-serving asshole is an insult to Project Moon's writing, frankly. I don't think that his character is that one note. I think that there is more to it. I do understand you're number one Matthias hater, but I think it is genuinely, I do think it is genuinely an insult to Project Moon's writing to just go, Matthias, the bad, bad. And I'm sure he's like, done horrible things that we haven't seen. But at the end of the day, it's like, we see in Kanto 9, he treats Ryoshu differently to anyone else. And it probably is like, a partially self-serving. I don't think Matthias can. I saw a character analysis that genuinely just suggested that Matthias might be a sociopath, and that would make sense. Like how he is written, he definitely has those tendencies. He is sort of written as someone who doesn't understand how affection is supposed to be, how empathy is usually supposed to be, and struggles to do that. And isn't really trying to be better. He's not trying to, like, stop this. That's the big difference of why I think Matthias is still a villain. is he's not trying to be a good person. He's not trying to stop this. He is just a bad person. And he is more than happy to stay that way. It's the ones who survive, the ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking weird-ass abbreviations? Like, sync? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't even bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of his cigarette. But is this really the right call? Her, but probably people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle's sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this trade that she'd bite us? Yeah, she was always, like, this is the thing. She was always just not... Maybe other middle members, but not this one. And even then, that's a big maybe on the other middle members. Besides, no. Better hear from her instead. Hey. Tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's cause... Well, cause Papa was weaker than y'all. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself from the bed with a sour face, but at least didn't argue back. We called Hohenheim, who'd been waiting outside back in. I assumed the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come. You'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it! You won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders and Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Kira is gonna learn what real family is like, except she has like a really bad group of sinners to learn that from. The sinners are a great found family, but this is a bad, like, you know, sort of mix of characters to learn. To try to learn that from. Oh, Wayfarer. Alright, let's
전시 준비는 완벽하다.
이 떨림.
소재가
나를 점 찍었다면 격에 맞는 조언도 함께 준비하도록.
We are not good influences. Okay, actually.
내 작. 이 떨림.
소재
나를 점 찍었다면 격에 선원 집합. 이번 작품에
There we
대해
go.
논의할 시간이다.
Greg's still EP. Is Hohenheim neurodivergent dead or male mom for Kira? I think it's both. Who is the woke dog? Kira is the woke dog. Hohenheim is a dog mom for Kira. Also neurodivergent dad. Also male mom. Hohenheim's putting in work. Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed around all the back doors. Prithee, who might those people thither be? Hello? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company! I am excited to see you replace W Corp. You know, I'm sure you have your risks, but honestly, it's like, I know you're just a team leader, but honestly, yeah, worst trip, but It is worse drip, but we're yet to see like more combat focus guys. These guys just seem set up. Suicidal father, survivor's guilt mother, woke dog. I'm a dad that stepped in shirt. This is... you will be working us with investigation of the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company? A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees have also been calling you the new L Corp. I know, we know what was obvious. I just, like, it's weird to, like, fucking hear someone say that. Something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember! The company vying to take W Corp's place, right? They just said that, Dante! Are you fucking stupid? Same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is pre-falling at this point. This Kanto in a nutshell, I guess. We just see someone say that out loud. And these are manager and the seniors from the LCP department, our field operations unit, and frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. I hope we get, like, non-cleaner W Corp IDs. I doubt there are. The cleaners are there to deal with the cleaning, but I am almost sure that the W Corp cleaners double as combat units just in case W Corp ever needs to fight someone. It's probably in their contract they need to do both, but, you know, the cleaning is the main thing because they need to do that constantly. Sorry, I need to put some trash away. Yeah. Yep. Alright, back. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you provided is more than sufficient. Oh my god, hi. Oh, hi. Ungiven understanding though, the man slipped his bulky helmet off before extending his hand and greeting. Oh. That's not Hopkins. Maybe Hopkins' dad? If anyone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's team leader. I fucking can't do this. I need to make an old man voice. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of the Door Branch Team 4. Likewise. Faust could even relay my reciprocal reading. Words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't even bother him at all. Like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. I was about to say he's not the first person to be given the file name Alan. Isn't... Yeah, because fucking, Alan was, yeah... Alan of... the Heart of... yeah... if you wanted to get to Wayne, Jack, you would go in a Hammerfuda of Chuck Office and Alan of Wayfarer Corp. Wait, that's so fucking funny! You capitalize on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as you leverage to push your products. The profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Your thumb got him. Not only profits, but also clearing our debt, which is huge. Top 10 bugs in Limbus history. It's so funny. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public. But what's that product part about? Imagine, because the chances with how many people are getting into Limbus and how many people play Limbus, the chances that between the window of that being a bug and that being fixed, there's gonna be someone who is confused as fuck as Kanto 8 as they see Hanafuda and then this random fucking chud yeah, it's not spaghetti code. It's a pretty normal bug to have, but it's so funny. Who the fuck is this guy, right? Why does it say W? Is this a Warp Club guy we don't know? Like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, and then they get here and they're like, he's back? And yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public. What's that product part about? It was helmet off too, that's so funny. The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Bas didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He's referring to the Monolith Sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB, at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumors spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now, I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you could make them if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. The Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation. She still gave a sliver of information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing about if it's about Robo-Unk and his room. Robo-Unk! I mean, I've seen Albertina hit up that door and the other one over there when she's popping out to farm stuff, but dude, you need to be put down! God, I love her! To farm stuff, bruh. Farm? Oh, it's a gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that? She'd come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some backstreets area. The backstreets. Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off! Bold-ass goon droid! Oh my god. You're low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally all I've got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Ow! I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Which her daughter that I hate, yeah, lovingly. It was an area where a low-ranking ring member could slaughter civilians. That's a lot of info, yeah. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard, it was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. This fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact, the chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with you? As Kira reeled from the expected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson and remind her, oh, fuck you, of her place. Ugh. You're not a part of our company, dude. You're not a part of our company. That's not your judgment call to make. Yeah, if Dante hit her, maybe, fair enough. You're not a part of, if Hohenheim did, maybe, fair enough. You're not a part of this fucking company, dude. Get the fuck out. Oh my god. Holy shit. I don't even care about, like, the fucking, you know, like, him being an asshole part. It's the fact that, right, realistically, under his logic, he is trying to fix a company asset being, you know, not acting as their place. You're not in the company, dude! That's not your call to make! That's not your responsibility! Only we can hit our chud daughter! You can't! Holy shit! I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be appropriate in this case. Team Leader Allen. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Ellen stood down without arguing, but Kira looked far more satisfied with how Hohenheim's satisfied with how Hohenheim's handled the situation. He has to song me in the face and walk off scot-free? So freaking annoying! Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate to her lashing out at Alan. That punched us now, though. What was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. He would be an amazing father. God, please, one day. Hello, Gosper. INTERVALLO. That ain't right! Oh my god! Hohenheim, you could speak clock? This entire time? Holy shit! Oh, can we hear that again? Fire! Yeah, spit your shit, Hohenheim! Oh, fucking 300 lunacy, please. I demand my lunacy. Holy shit. Let's be real, he ain't having kids other than adoption? Yeah, no. So whatever Yoshu, give Manager Allen whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left, I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But H and I have no idea where they actually lead. It's all blurry. It's busy you thinking about speed pushing. This gay ass is not reproducing. Hold up. If there's a will, it seems that all information we could provide will that suffice. We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarers. That was information Kira gave you! What the fuck are you talking about? Fuck you! Kira told you that! Kira told you that they connect to a perceivable area, and yet when you see the same shit with different fucking words from Ryoshu, you take the same fucking conclusion from it if you had anything but a stick up your ass. Holy shit, I fucking hate this guy. Oh my god, I thought it was a hot little, hot old man. Fuck you, dude. Holy shit. Maybe he is Hopkins' dad. It's bad. There's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarers about company's backdoor mapping progress, which means there's less of a chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Man, if only I could have gotten that information from some other source, but it had to have been Ryoshu. Thank you, Ryoshu, my fucking queen, for giving me that information. Oh, hey, Kira, do you want to punch again? Fuck you! I hate this dude. Don't touch a fucking bean! That's our work dog! Alright then, I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Ryoshu mentioned. Huh? Did you trust me at all, huh? Then why bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices in the door, and soon an elegant white door opened for us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Hohenheim gives me power bottom with Switch vibes. Yeah, no, I agree. You could definitely rage bait, horny bait Hohenheim. I'm getting distracted thinking about that, sorry. Less lack of trust and more yours is pointless to go into. Who cares about some random backstreets? Yeah. Okay, let's see what's in there. Holy shit, that's a pallid whale. Or an artwork of a pallid whale. Okay, no, genuinely, fucking pause. Alright, I'm gonna talk here for a second. And it's only gonna be a really quick second. What is with Project Moon and being able to make genuinely amazing looking art out of these horrific and grotesque things? Like, they're genuinely good at it. It scares me. Last Canto, we had the corporism, and shit, some of those art pieces were kind of beautiful. And now we have this, and I can see where it's going. It is stunning. Like, what the fuck, man? And you know what's so funny to me about this? Is we see a bit of ring art in Leviathan. I didn't really like that art. Like, in Leviathan. And of course, that was a different artist. Who probably didn't have, Kim Ji-hoon's oversight. Or any other person in Project Moon's oversight. That was a different artist. And now, we're getting to main game art from The Ring. And it's kind of fucking beautiful. Yeah, we're back. Freaking is the Ring era? I am in my middle era always. But I've heard that the middle kind of gets some bad things in this, but I don't spoil. I like the whole street performer flurry bit. I didn't really care for the art in Leviathan, except for, of course, the like Vigilius one. I thought that was really cool. I mean the actual art in universe or the illustration? I mean kind of both. Like, I do, like, yeah, I mean the actual, like, the illustration of the actual art in universe. Like, this is genuinely good looking art. This is such, like, it has such a wild, like, look to it. What the, is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns for the fucking... Holy shit, dude. Okay, like... This is peak. This is peak. This is the thing, though. Like, I do agree. Project Moon does body horror fantastically. I think a fantastic example of that is Love Town. Shock horror. Love Town was a fantastic example of body horror done well. Few people do body art. This isn't really horror, at least to me it isn't. This is more like genuinely good looking art happens to be made of corpses. The Corporus Gallery, I wasn't really scared of, but I do understand that it should be horrific. I didn't find it horrific. If I saw that in real life, I would, but I found it kind of beautiful still. I think few pieces of fiction try this. The lack of blood was the thing. Yeah, it didn't have blood in it. It was all very clinical and dry, and that's what made it, like, beautiful. Meanwhile, this, it's more patchwork, it's more primal, it's more put together, it's an amalgamation of different things, and yet it comes into a really cool and stunning form. I mean, the big centerpiece here being the obvious example, but even back there you see the shape of the gorilla, it's mostly kept intact with only a minor modification to show off, you know, something unique. The bear claw, with just a simple adornment of feathers, suddenly looks so beautiful, and even the pillar has details on it. That's awesome. The lines are deliberate, true to Falvistic styles. The fucking... oh, man. I want to see this up close. I also want to see this up close, because I'm struggling to form thoughts on it, but it is cool. It is really nice. What the fuck is lying about learning game design? Yeah, sorry, I was studying corpse art the entire time. Sorry! You got me! I was studying corpses! I love the walls and... oh, yeah! The corporist... because for the corporist gallery, all that mattered was framing the corpses. It was framing what... and I guess itself, right? It shows Callisto's character. Callisto wanted to prove that, at least in this current gallery that we saw, you know, in the previous screen, in that gallery we saw, he was trying to prove that his art medium, his art form, was viable, was something that would deserve your attention and deserved your respect and deserved your reverence. And because of that, it had very little details other than anything that could frame the actual corporist part of it into a bigger spotlight. Meanwhile, this is art made by people who already know that they are respected, that they are adored, they have an art form that is looked up to. They don't need to focus too much on the form itself, and can then use the actual gallery to then improve the art contrast. Callisto was too self-absorbed with his own idea of what it should be. And because of that, I think his gallery doesn't hold up as strong as this one. Yeah, they don't feel the need to prove anything. Callisto did. And it's really cool that I could do... By the way, guys, I need to say this. It's really cool that I could even make such a character analysis based off fucking art of corpses in a video game. Limbus Company does it again, dude. It's really cool that I can do that. That's really fucking awesome, dude. Limbus Company does it again. I fucking love Project Moon because I couldn't do something like this in any other series. It's absolute cinema. Holy shit, dude. The use of color and lines that Falvism is actually known for, containing more PM visions of LaFave. It's so fucking cool. Oh. The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns for the sinners, though thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermied animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit! The scale is just insane! That's the whale from the Aid Association Great Lakes Special Issue! What is the Aid Association? We now know that they go to the Great Lake, but what the fuck else do they do? God, I want answers! We didn't know for sure that they were a Great Lake. We knew that Ahab had a captain's hat. We didn't know if they had anything to do with whales. Maybe now, likely they do. That's the Seven Association. We don't know the Ed Association. They fish? I refuse to believe they fish! Because they fish is a quarter of the city! Barely any of the city is touching the ocean. There has to be something more. It has to be something wider scale. Each of the associations in Project Moon were made in order of the need. In order of importance. How the fuck is fishing more important than contract work? 7 is British, so 8 is American. Yeah. Being a part, it wouldn't have been an 8th association fixer. It would have been it would have been like being a part of an office affiliated with an association. Not literally a part of the association. Because Ahab was seemingly ex-8 association. How is fish more important than Amazon? Right? Like, there needs to be more answers. There needs to be something else out there in other parts of the city for them to hunt. Because my current theory is that the 8 associations are hunters. But there needs to be something else to hunt other than just whales. And we're probably seeing a bit of it here, but I'm curious. Kira, who seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing in a real-life show hits different. I think Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his. It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. That's an insane sentence. Outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're... Not duh. The RoboWonk did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters that display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. Meh. Still looks crazy sick though. The vibe really hits. The whales we see are the heads of something bigger. Yeah, I've seen. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept snaking glances of that massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. It said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote? The eye of the second kindred, of House Tepes. What is it doing here? Oh! Okay, give me a second. I don't trust the picture because of the giant X over it. Dragon, there is another picture without a giant X over it of this same thing. There's other ones without. I think the X was Ahab trying to be like, I'm going to fucking kill this thing! Ah! Rather than like, well, was it in Ishmael's room that had the X? In which case it was, we need to fucking kill this thing! Ah! It was drawn out of anger, not out of, no. If it isn't in the corridor, sure. But most corridors are basically wormholes to actual places in the city, yeah. Corridors are basically using the back rooms as shortcuts, yeah. It might not be true. We don't know if it holds up for every whale as well. But we know that it might be likely for the pallid whale, at least. But that fuck is dead. You know the other ones. The other ones like it. I don't think they're quite the same. I think they're probably smaller. The mentions of the word kindred. I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things. Starting with Crimson Eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention Body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. Oh, you can see it there, the kindred eye. It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism, probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro atelier and an auction house. Okay, Absolute Cinema, we're getting fucking ring info! A main studio implies that a School of Fauvism, a school, might have multiple studios. But a main studio feels like each school then only has one maestro. At least it seems to imply. Auction house, yeah. First Kindred, didn't it? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Are we just lying for no reason? A second. But yes, of House Tepes, which we don't know about. Do we know about that? That's Dracula! Holy fuck! Vlad Tepes. Which fucking one is it? New family in P universe, but classically as Dracula. Cool. But this seems to imply that finally we know that maestros and schools are like 1-to-1. Alan. We'll be making our exit shortly. Please prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Cohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Oh, hello! Hey! Oh, that's fucking awesome! The drip! Oh! Sorry. Turning towards the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks, staring directly at us. That presence, it's kind of like Papa's. Ain't no way. This is not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. Dude, Hohenheim, quick, use your special art critique! The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door? Then the house's fall. Was it just a baseless rumor? A stray little spiderling, fallen from a parent's web. How many years has it been? You. Who are you? Oh, right. Whack-a-mole. Still a cooldown, plenty. Basically, at a soda cup level, yeah. Alright, it makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask. Back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into this raw, still flashing flesh of living prey. The predator's ferocious, yet cavernously resonant howling rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right! Émile Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still as sly as a raven, unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tactility of hides and guts made for a possible 8W. At first glance, It looked like Ryoshi was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I had a feeling she was in fact dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing. How much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim! The lockdown sequence! Woman, by the way, if it wasn't obvious, it wasn't. I'm not going to change my voice. I'm going to make it slightly higher pitched, but I'm not going to change how I do that voice. If I remember correctly, Fauvism is based on strong colors flowing scientific love era. So translating that to Patriot Tsunami is really cool. Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members, and PM making comprehensible gender challenge impossible. I mean, I couldn't tell either way. I just kind of did a fucking voice. Yeah. And because I was born a guy, it tends to, like, you know, lean towards a more masculine sounding voice. But at the end of the day, that was meant to be either. And I don't think it's meant to be easily told. We'd been shooting the ring members in an incensed glare, sparked by the discovery of the Kindred's eye. Swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequences lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is by its nature a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. A lot of people thought it was a guy, me included. I just kind of went, because, you know, at the end of the day, I was thinking, like, fuck, it could be either way. Perhaps that doesn't make this a suitable juncture to try out Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, but he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith and potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, it seems more like grasping at straws. This is fantastic music. At the end of the gaze was Ryoshi's blade, a Raya Shiki. I was going to try using it anyway. I have long wanted to see Maestro's death as if any different. Telling him that we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here is quite the fascinating specimen to the artist of the ring. Now let's count. Now, no, hold up, let's count. Let's not count fucking Wayfair Corp guy. But we have Ryoshi, fucking Time Baby, Don Quixote, a kindred, Hohenheim, someone wearing ego, and Dante. So Faust, now I ask you, what makes you an interesting specimen to the ring? There's something more to you, other than just a Gesellschaft. Probably you're a homunculus, but I wonder, you know, tell me yourself, goddammit. 2 a.m. cooking as well. Yeah, as always, man. I wouldn't say story music is in-house. Studio EIM tends to do everything. They at least did everything in Library of Ruina. Other than Millie. Millie is the exception, not the rule. Hohenheim is secretly a world-renowned critic, by the way. We are practically in the windfall of inspiration and material that is so conveniently delivered to them. First is white-haired. We saw like 4 of them in total, including Mars, who's a bum. What are we talking about here, guys? Wait, was Mars a whitehead? Am I remembering wrong? Yeah, he was. Including Mars? Who's a bum? That's upscale. You know, Mars is the only character in all of Project Moon to have ever been described as having talent. He has a trait on him that is talent. That's a unique trait. No one else has talent. It's a crayon! Anything that appears in PM's channel. That's interesting. Wait, really? Because that would seem to... That feels off. Oh, well. Everyone else in the PM versus talent now hack. It is improbable they will allow us to return unharmed. Plus is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Ryashiki. No. There's other reasons that Hohenheim is, and well, why she is fucked. Tokyo is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to be House a Golden Bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or no clock. Think of that woman as Leihang, and do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot. Where Ryoshu went was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow. Secure an advantage to fight on equal footing. Then catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. A cut from the Arayashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the Maestro long enough to give us time to get away. This floor of the exhibitors only has the submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some possible ones that show promise of excellence. And above all, this is a gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight if possible. A shame. So, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arashiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste. Confusion flickered across Ryoshi's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. Yeah. She said, Hakma Yaoi, peak. It'd be insane to visit a Maestro gallery, because if this is students and docents, I want to see what a Maestro makes. Hey, call me fucked up all you want. This is good art. It's fucking good art. It's kind of beautiful. Holy shit. Confusion flickered across Ryoshi's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The lock of the House of Spiders used to bind the Urayashiki no longer exists, so why? Why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering the relic, were they false? The Maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshi recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked nothing more than a light gash, yet the Maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood of Ryoshi's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. I come back to Croak literally joining the ring? No. I'm still a middle motherfucker. Family! Doesn't mean I can't appreciate good art. Dude, I'm the guy in the middle they should send out to the finger barbell. That's all I'm saying. Callisto is a Maestro and gets outperformed by students? Kinda! Oh, he's washed! I would die to disrespecting the thumb. Thirsting. No. They call me the most fingered man in the city. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, didn't you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Is the House of Spiders a success? Or a failure? Tell me you're cheating. What do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What do you want about now? Ask any students and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why? It's lamentably disappointing. The maestro has advanced towards us with assured certainty. He seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. For what? Have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked to like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone, but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I shouldn't say that I admire their structural refinement. The thrice coiled ring on her ring finger gave a cold glint, and the walls of the ceiling suddenly began to echo with a sickening squelch and the crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this discovery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged her arm into the long serpentine body of the monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of the nurse fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege! This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider! Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute ago. Step outside. Attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrammed to equip the sinners with their identity. With their identity, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion, and the one who intercepted the blow. Shit! It was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her still sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit! This wasn't the plan at all! Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look in her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The medal? For someone who doesn't even seem to be a proper member, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. You must be the new kid Matthias cooking. Why do you stand in my way? Fucked if I know! I'm already regretting it, alright? Fucking damn it! The defo gonna ditch me here. Why did I even? Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be so sure. Shut it! Miss, quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from the sheaths. With a metallic clang, she used the recoil of the motion and skid back to assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The maestro lashed out again with a monstrous limb, but... Huh? 'Tis a foul injustice to strike an unprepared opponent at all! Behold, that I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned fixers have displayed throughout the ages. Sitting and opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its own trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. I want to fucking Limbussing happen anywhere right now, please. Please. Ready to initiate Ready to initiate a lockdown sequence. I'll seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door! Fast retrieve the organic remnants of the sin number 3. It's fast made her exit with what was once Don Quixote. The students surrounding Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of their lips. Called it for real. That's exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira with us would mean a sizable force of the ring, trailing right behind through the door. Kira too seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. Dude, if the I think Studio Trigger is like my dream Project Moon studio. But whoever did the PV fucking cooked. Such a dumbass. What was I thinking diving in like that? You! Don't just stand there! Get over here now! But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I... You, TTM. Wanna get cleaned in half again? You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay. Blocking the Maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira held herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing us to the sinners who had gone in ahead, but lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Annalyn managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the Maestro could cross over. Bulkhead, think you can still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says. Kira would be strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members had managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have on my side would not be the best course of action. In that case. Guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through the Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so? Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Altus, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever. Hang on, I need to finish this bite. Everyone to me. I think Kim may, we don't know. That's a wild assertion to make. There's a wild assertion to make. I mean, there's a chance that he goes to Korean studio, but all we know is Kim Jong-un's gonna have a fucking insanely high standard. Bus, form up. Pull up. Thermal weapon, the middle. LCE? She gets nothing. Oof. I actually haven't played with Honglu yet, so it's gonna be fun. So Hohenheim is adopting her. Yeah. I should read these guys. Most obviously cracks inside, but can hold around and deal decent damage. Plus she's helping out him bleed. How nice. Did you get Kura and what? Intense primary color, Lefauvism. The first step is always but a single animal. But with every quest of art and ferocity, another beast is laid atop the previous specimen. There are beasts that fall in and out of vogue within the school of Fauvism. Yes, but a true artist must take fierce pride in that single animal as the undrawing of which beast represents their unique self. Despite this wisdom, however, there are some who flit from beast to beast as though their self is nothing more than a costume to be worn and discarded. I suppose. Yeah, no war there. Ooh. I'm gonna turn you slightly down. But it's a really good track, so not all the way down. This is my spirit animal. I need to double check his passives. Yep. Did you get the Kira announcer? No. I didn't even pull for Radian.
우와, 지금 완전 삼촌들이랑 고무대 같았어.
I've also heard with overlaying identities, you could just make Honglu shoot Faust for no reason as she does her skill 3, and I find that so fucking funny. Hello, Dragon Song.
아이, 짜증나게. 보여드려야겠군요. 외면의 예술을.
와우! 벌써 재료를 저기까지 손질해둔 것이움?
Closing time.
문 닫을 수 있을 것 같지움?
Hope you enjoyed the artwork.
영감이 떠올랐어요.
Holy shit, it's so strong.
아까처럼만 해. 그럼
저희
이번 전투도
영감을
쉽게 갈 수 있을 거야.
일깨워주시는군요.
예사롭지가 않은데? 아주 작살을
저희
내놨어.
뼈로 이제야 친해졌네요.
The massive difference in remaining ring health for Copris. Just skill 3 turn 1 and getting their artwork up instantly, getting Faust out of
왜
armor.
엄마가 삼촌들이랑 말도 못 섞게 했는지.
What would oh man, I wonder what my spirit animal
그
would be,
외부
Smile.
강사들
Who knows?
손가락 안에서도 내로라는
Only ever take
실력자들이었을
a
거야.
guess.
영감이 떠올랐어요.
Oh, look. Callista's artwork is back.
매번 엄마에게 가르쳐줬거든.
I hate all of you.
한 놈, 두 놈, 세 놈.
지금처럼 엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을 다니며 많은 기억을 쌓아줘. 언젠가
It's only the festival, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We were merely testing beset by ill luck. Beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, you wouldn't have had to gotten cooked like that in the first place. Okay, whoever's doing the localization on Kira is doing a fantastic job. Like, why even drag me into this if you just weren't gonna trust me, weirdos? We would have opened them all up at the end of the day. SD. I'm 11% towards banning KL. That's important. Or modding rat. No, wait, hold up. No. SD? What's that? Same difference. Again, why showing it like that? Why don't you just say duh? Just spell it out. Just say it was anticipated. SWA. Huh? Good work, everyone. The Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. By all measures, this counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who just manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Falvis won't be able to cross anymore. With the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying some more might come? The corridors, back doors, have always been the ring's turf clock. Those Falvis beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know that many back doors, both the origin and destination points. I clarified what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yes, compared to them we lack sufficient knowledge or alternative routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves overmuch. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely they would have moved on the House of Spiders so soon. They could always rush for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvis Maestro seemed to lack a clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. Situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. No, that Wayfarer employee is just he does blood damage. Well, okay, Ring does do blunt bomb. Ring has a mono blunt ID in the Falvis. Ring does do blunt. Yeah, Ring is mono all of them, because you need to take pride in your damage type. Is Maya blunt? Let me double check this. Just so I'm not being stupid. Because I don't want to be stupid real quick. Fucking Rodian's mono blunt! Just double checked! Rodian too! Once all of the back door related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. It must be Ring, I guess. Corporus slash all of them. Yeah, every corporus has slashed. Without exception. That aside. Why couldn't I draw my blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Yoshi lifted and sheathed the sword with an irritated frown. That's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. quivering, most faint. 'Twas seen by all, indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Kira, don't say that. Oh! Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the stab twitching as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshu was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshu's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshu, is it an SS? A demon edge, an enchanted blade, which is it? It's probably neither of those, nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to collect another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Allen. Feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away. To return to the headquarters research facility then? No, that won't be necessary. There is a facility here that should prove much more than adequate. Hey yo, magic sword, that's so fucking cool. Ryoshi, your fucking daughter!
약지에 감긴 세 바퀴의 반지는 마에스트로가 되기 위해 인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠. 비록 지금 제 작품이 만인의 신금을 울리지는 못하더라도 여전히 반지에 부끄럽지 않은 작품을 선보이고 있는 것 같네요.
Fascination. Relics and the sign. Ah! Owenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screen, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. The event currency has flavor text? Oh my god. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbussing. Bomb, I divert to you. Alright, Bomb, protect us from the spoiler people. Please. It would be a great help. Dragon drives. I don't know, something Ryan Gosling. Forward base is constructed by Limbus Company following the Operation Spider Pyre. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. I haven't finished this yet. Thumbs up! It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. I haven't finished it because you wanted to sleep last night? Yeah, no, that's fair. Irregular phenomena. An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of correlation between the emergence of Sinner's 11's sign and manifestation of a possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people that dragged him off earlier. Hey, be your walls. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners. Official name for a group of sinners is a gaggle. Gaggle of sinners who were tagged earlier to watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Owenheim, how long will the examination take? Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means that it should be able to finish in an hour from now at least. Scabble rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. Man, I don't know why or how, but the child's sword was trembling like a child. Who could guess why? It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. You shouldn't how and high. Polo boo boo. Yoshi and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get Sinclair then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vesper Crabro, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack thief? Manager. Cannon snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate all of them up. Sorry. Wait, hold up. I need to turn my lights on. Give me a second. Oh, it's much better. I can see. Sorry, but I think there's some misunderstanding. It's like, kick his ass. Not only is this a matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving the amount on the table unattended. But still, I would prefer you exercise more caution next time, or you put me in a tough spot. Understood. Karen. Karen's super sulky mode engaged, not talking for half a day. Deploying super pass bit of candy. Beep beep mode disabled. I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Cannon forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best to make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Vigilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign off Vesper's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vesper gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. But wait a minute! I was saving that for later! I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know! Yet I see you gobbling up my share! He took my snack too, there! Kick his ass! Rodion Romanovich. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each center is being funneled into your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well. Chill. That's agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that and this is the... The lines of Vigilius' brows looks deeper than usual today. Hoping to helping him out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches, and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came of it. Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair, due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon. The only verifiable information so far has been its existence. Oh, trash can. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Thus has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. Yeah. The same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only select few people could perceive it. Radio the snack silence! Peak. Absolute cinema. Oh. So I just got a message. Cool. Some more individuals bearing signs. There would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable set references exist. At present, the research is limited to reducing variables as to whether or not the regular phenomena are tied to location where the battle took place. By individuals bearing signs, you mean people like Damien and Sanson. Wait, then those guys can do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Rhodia gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then... Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power. I think. Maybe, you know, there's layers of light rings DM me and used to finish off Chroma, Sanson, dragging us into his story. This could be it. Hi! That doth seem possible. Plausible. So none of that is information we could confirm yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet, ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present. I wonder if Demon's sign is amplifying his mang. I don't think it's that simple. Also, you know, everyone seems to forget that Demian, for like literally no reason, can just fly. Like, I think it's more than just mang, it's some fuck shit. This is at best grounded in supposition. But it would seem that researchers are coaxing forth an hypothesis from the vestiges left in wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of this of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the signs working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. And his colors and T-Corp. Yeah, he didn't give a shit. You see, then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway? No, I mean... I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think. So, did anything happen that we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, a small skin sample. Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories from that moment have yet to return? No, I don't think they'll ever come back, actually. Past said they only exist with my future self, so... But, wait. Before my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem. In such a case. Well, we don't know. Well, Sinclair, we don't know if your future self comes from a timeline in which you summoned this. Because all we know is that at the moment you used it, that was when the future possible futures was searched and one was found. Do we know that the future Sinclair came from a timeline where he also did that? This is not a paradox at all. No. These guys don't get it. It's not a paradox at all. You can think of it as if Sinclair became his future self, then it wasn't his past self. Like, you know, he's saying that for the future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? No, because you didn't do that. It's your future self that did that. You don't have to carry those memories. When you get to that point in time in the future, you would suddenly gain those memories because you then did that. Quote unquote. Yeah, I doubt it. Exactly. Like, whole ID thing out of the window and we get superpowered sinners. I don't think a couple of these fellas are getting superpowers, but you know, there was that interview with Kim Ji-hoon. Heathcliff can't just do that. I think the L King power, the Wild Hunt is ego. And it was just not said to be ego. Because it just being a power seems very vague for what we know about Project Moon's world right now. I think it's ego, especially with the big ass sword. I think the Wild Hunt is the River's power? Well, according to the recent interview, it's Heathcliff's power. LCCB Heathcliff could do this. You know, lock the fuck in. They said, yeah, no, true. They said LCCB Heathcliff could hop mirror worlds. That's his power. But the Wild Hunt part, we don't know. According to Faust, it comes from when you hate Heathcliff enough. Smile. Yeah, LCB, sorry. According to Faust, literally, if you just hate Heathcliff enough, you too can do that. I just think it's quite literally, I think the simplest and nicest explanation is its ego. We just didn't get told it was ego. We're not going to be told every time some shit is ego, I think. Especially for something so mysterious as the Wild Hunt. I think the hopping and the sword and Dullahan are ego. I don't think Heathcliff could just do that. I disagree, and I will risk crashing to say so. Don't. You're not even just hating anyone. Hate Heathcliff. A car stopped. Cool. I think it's it might be threefold. It might be complicated. I think ego is the cleanest explanation. Try to put you dead, but not like this, bro. The simplest answer is usually the correct answer. I do somewhat agree that the Wild Hunt and Mirror World hopping are separate. I think the sword is connected to Mirror World hopping, considering it is the Mirror World sword. Have you seen that shit? It's the mirror sword. It's the sword made out of mirrors. The Dullahan might be Wild Hunt, though. WH Cliff. Let me check, actually. I'm gonna check his IDs real quick. Wild Hunt Heathcliff. Sprites. He has a big ass sword, but it seems to be covered in vines. It's not that like it's like a suppressed one. Is the best way I describe it. Oh, so is Elking's actually. So he does have the sword. So maybe never mind. Maybe the sword is separate. Well, okay, to be fair, Wild Hunt Heathcliff got... anyways, my brain is not working. Sign and peak of humanity. Oh yeah, signs exist, true. But also, to be fair, Wild Hunt Heathcliff, didn't he get gooped into this world? He didn't mirror hop into our world. He got gooped into it, did he not? He got perfect pastryed into it. It's not the same, but similar to Sinclair's sign. Oaken got gooped, but Wild Hunt... He did get bodied, then gooped into the world. Yeah. But isn't the reason he got bodied is because he was gooped into someone that wasn't a suitable vessel? And then he got re-gooped into a blank vessel that he could have all his power in? Wild Hunt Heathcliff never hopped mirror worlds in our canon. In our world, he never hopped to it. He got gooped twice. He never did that. Yeah, it was originally identity override and then goop. W.H. Cliff did hop mirror worlds? What are we talking about? Did he? I didn't think Wild Hunt Heathcliff hopped mirror worlds. I mean, no, didn't he have that fucking thing of, didn't he have that funeral for other Heathcliffs, or am I going crazy? Huh. Yeah. So they've both, wait, okay. Because whilst we never see Earl King hop mirror worlds, it is said that he could. So both could. So they both had the same sort of power that allowed them to. I don't think we have enough info. But I want to believe something... It feels like there's something to do with Wild Hunt and Ego. Just, like, by how the weapon is designed and everything. Yeah, speculation is fun. It feels like it should be Ego. It's the simplest explanation. It's the cleanest, to me, is the cleanest explanation. Paradox, it would seem, in such a case. The Sinclair is merely one branch of among many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains of more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace back to the path of the self that now exists. Is that the theory you suggest? Not so deep, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again. More of that nonsense only you lot understand. Fuck it. Domain expansion. Wild hunt. Heathcliff, what the fuck? Oi, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? And some part of him's gotta be left in there, somewhere, yeah? Like a muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he could still pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? Mirror Sword Relic! Duel the Hunt Ego! Wild Hunt Sign! As if we look at, like, I don't know, Elkill's hair is pretty, like... He could just cover the sign. It would be so funny if it did. But in theory, Elking would only have the sign when he's actively using the power. Tricks from back then? Heard you kicked up proper out there. Even pulled off that trick you picked up from that Placido geezer, right? Not just that, he was using that Mang technique for quite effortlessly too. What? The glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had two of them coiled around his weapon. He used the glowing ring thing! I fucking love them so much. I used the glowing ring thing! This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura makes you real tough, one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? Oh my god. Don't know. Could be a secret finger thing they pass down through their members. Technique, gear, something like that. Look at it. The Black Coney leader. The Lei Heng prick. Nurse fathers we fought. Whole lot of them's fingers, ain't they? The notion seems to unravel. Even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And the Gillies, too. Oh, they're finally fucking asking about it, yeah. Heathcliff having the power to bring back does line up nicely with his motivation to bring Kathy back. Yeah! Okay, don't try to explain now. I mean, you could posit now. All any of us are doing are positing theories. The mythical sonogram is nice. I ain't reading all that, sorry. So what? Only the proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting, the sinners slowly turn their gaze towards Gillies and Vesper. Why are you making those noises every time you come on screen, Vesper? No mention of the first fucking fight of the game. They were too busy dying? I only learned to wield it from my team leader too. I have sensory understanding of Shin, but I cannot claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. My rub is that Heathcliff has a sign in which he can subconsciously peer into various mirror worlds and glean information, taking the form of his surprisingly accurate gut feeling, connecting back to the Heath and Faust spring cult name of actually quite similar. Wait, Cook? But combined with training and the primordial humanity of Elking, I feel like primordial humanity is a bit of a vague thing and a concept that's not too established. But I actually think that cooks. That first thing cooks. Actually quite similar. Oh my god, that would work. Oh. It's what NCORP is doing. Yeah, but we don't know what it means. It's either something really important or some religious fanaticism that they put behind their words in order to get to any other goal. Like, it's too vague. I think primordial humanity isn't something we have explored enough. Purple, jumping words, I know that fucking snake is around here somewhere. It's some high concept shit, I agree. You said that fucking snake was singularity shit. Heathcliff likely isn't. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. Rumors? They circulated among the elite fixers and association leadership that there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor amongst fixers, sayest thou? Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How-to tips really spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest bonus vid. It was really popping off with it. Straight up Orifon with a shiny mane wrapped around the weapon. It must be that my eyes are yet to privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, are you serious? It's in the latest issue, literally on the videotape in the back. Missed you? Maybe you missed it? Videotape? Alas. For many a week I have been stranded from Mephi, leaving me of a chance to read not only the prior article, but the latest one as well. Woe is me! When I return, I shall feast through the night upon these noble exploits of adventuring fixers. If Heathcliff is Iori's son, he'd be fucking 48 at minimum. Nah, trust. Now trust his time travel bullshit. It's time travel bullshit. We know that she could. No, I don't think that. I do not think at all that Heathcliff is Iori's son. It's the dumbest shit ever, but it's really funny. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Aldous cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. It's massive cope. It's not cope, it's just a stupid theory. Cope is different. From what I recall, the metal of Shin grants its user a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation, and depending on how it is used, the consequence demands can reach levels comparable to ego you use. Here she was realistically half Heathcliff's age. God, yeah, it's fucking... You mean to say it exacts a toll upon the mind? I could walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, it is not unreasonable to assume we could... Is it not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. What? Hello? As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vesper's brow visibly twitched the moment Yellow Harpoon left Vigilius' lips. Yeah, he doesn't seem a big fan of his own title, the Yellow Harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes and he used a harpoon. Can he argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sena Yiseng's pre-contract stuff could manage to learn it. Why must this suffer might be chosen as a point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power that can be grasped with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. unless you rely on particular identities or come up with extraordinary circumstances. Shame that. Would have been useful. Hey then, what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira, who'd been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. But to think of it, the Middle Merc's father didn't use Shingamang. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid crush like that. It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Vesper's response always came back to dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turned to the topic of fingers. Kira must have noticed it too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling on a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes. You will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable, because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line and you will be the one who pays the price. Holy shit! Can people stop telling her that? She gets it! I'm getting annoyed! There was nothing in what Vigilia said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders, she murdered scores of LCE researchers, and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. But contesting that decision doesn't mean that we have no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinner slipped back into their own business, snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshi returned. They're edging us with Shin and Manglaw so hard. To present the conclusion first. No, the notion of the sword as being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature, yes. That would be most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Yoshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had been taking offense. Somehow, I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. The scabbard has his own will. Does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it could be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixated variable, that in the reconstitution of its original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technologies and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of the lay people such like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There's no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, manages Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. Ah, but we have uncovered a thread, something that could be lead to restoring Ryoshi's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. You should be in the ring with Nurse Father's quarters. That will be all. Onam cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut, and any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he constructed in our conversation. Alright. Then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Imagine if we're preventing the gays, as soon as we're pretending that they weren't interested at all. Think it's time for me to disappear, getting close to where I left off? Hurry up, bomb, growl! Morse code, like she just says.
The horse is here.
M-O-M, mom. Is that M? I don't remember M. Mom. Mom, you. G. Hold up. G-E. No, T was just dash. What was dash dot? Was T just dash? Teaching Morse to a child sounds like a nightmare. I learned Morse when I was a child. Just stop streaming one issue message. It was a long time ago, okay? Dash. My teacher was myself. I did it. For the fuck of it. I was very good. I'm no longer very good. This was years ago. But I still can remember them. There's stuff like dash dot escapes me. Dash is you. Dot is I. No, I is dot dash dot. Is it? No, wait, hold up. Yeah, some of it escapes me. Special interest self-learning doesn't count. Fair. I'm not translating all that. Fuck it. But it was. I remember a game theory video where they showed Morse code on the screen, and at the time I had like gotten really good at Morse code, and I realized this is just wrong. They like showed Morse code on the screen and showed what it said. It was wrong. Now, I don't know why they did that. Morse code is very easy to look up, but it was wrong. But going the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they'd been intently listening in on a conversation. It was wrong by a small variable. I think that they left out a dash and a letter to save space on the screen, but it was wrong. Where are we to go? Ah, right. Sorry, forgot the rest of you weren't with us earlier. Fast Tokihedo, Ryoshu and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war, executive manager? Talking about me? Yeah, I guess. I'm working with them too. Yeah. Best remember to everyone fucking says it! Shut up! Fucking fuck you, Kira, the Intervallo! Best remember to tread carefully. If you do something, we'll do something. Oh, we'll kill you! We're gonna kill you! Bro, I swear to fucking God, shut up! Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, what else? Kira needled, pulling my chud daughter, dude. Kira needled it at us with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Alright, anyway, I think it'd be better if we have just a few more people, just to be safe. They all think they're the first to tell her, like Twitch chat. Yeah. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight into the rings corridor, and that was a close call. Aldous and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, Executive Manager. I knew I could rely on you, Aldous. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, Executive Manager. I, Aldous, understand better than anyone your concerns about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Aldous. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on just how I keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. Better stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you could just summon the rest of us like you did earlier. If shit hits the fan. Research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. I don't think I can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. I will follow, if that is your order, Manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. I really like the summoning. It allows us to shake up things whilst not holding back on combat encounters. I will miss limited encounters, but I'm sure that those can happen again through some fuck shit. Saru. Don't forget to support Redian.
서두르지 말고 느긋하고 여유롭게.
Ah, you've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the Rings Gallery. Next stop would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. Huh? Oh, it's freaking me out. Yeah, it's sequence breaking the game. It's weird. Gatekeeping? Are you saying you have more to tell us about the doors? Yep. The door over there? Pretty sure it connects to Encorp's nest. I saw Bernie going in all hyped about some canned whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around it, the handle, probably go in there to cross vengeances. From the book said. Probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Like earlier when she offered vague snippets, even just about a single door, here was mouth feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid even to someone as clueless to the back door as me. She's far more corrupted than anticipated. Even after that, Alan character roughed her up, from what I hear. If Aldous didn't threaten her for the third time, she would have been gatekeeping this all. Smile? Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. I wonder if she's changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down. Executive Manager. Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn us. Freaking, I can literally hear what you're saying, you know? Alright, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. I'll tinker with the device around it and flash a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? No, look about the same. Start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say something about the safest one, so it shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reached for the nearest door, as Heathcliff told me to, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door, it feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking, a fragmented memory painted over in parts slipped into the mind. Oh. Sorry, it hurt you a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know. Let's go for a walk. But I don't recall much about it. Memory just now. Did it be tied to Araya? Feels off. Oh, if we threaten her a fourth time, she'll really want to be our friend. Okay, this one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and so the other sinners. This place is... Judging by the state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within the nest. Most likely a park. Every sod walking is dragging some animal along. It means they've got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The walk, the past Ryoshu mentioned in her memory. The sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together and I voiced over the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurt you a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Why isn't she getting any better? Give her lots to eat. Oh, I know. I want to go for walkies. You love walkies, don't you, Sarah? It's this workshop Dad always visits. The door there connects to a park. Let's go. She's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing, and I started fucking weeping on the spot. No, sir, as a kid. Very. Such gentleness just seemed quite unlike the young Ryoshu. Hey, Clock, who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on, you know it's not something I can control. GG. Back at the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the visions of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in H-Corp with Hong Lu. Which probably means... Why are y'all staring at me? That's so random, what the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what? You guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lin Dayu and Hong Lu, Kira doesn't have a direct connection to Ryoshu. I guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound of thy companion of old, young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. Because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment with a spiral driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kind of fate that had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal! How could such wickedness be born? What happened to Sarah in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Sarah wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room, crying. You were? Not someone else? Who else? Of course it was me. After witnessing a fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day. what I received was something he called the Beastbone Blade. A tattoo that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way! I always knew there was something creepy with Robo-Unk. So that's why he killed your dog, huh? No. He didn't kill Santo. Sorry. The tattoo was alive. Did you just say alive? Bloody hell, alright, Nodder. That's psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like adornments, and they'd stare at me in accusation, the tiny heart beating as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why do you still mess around with that art thing? Let's be honest, after seeing something like that, you want to steal work clear, yeah? Right? Those things he calls artworks all so cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't really checked out other ring artworks outside of Albina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that, but yeah, their stuff never really gave any art vibes real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first. Yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. The finest appeal in the grotesque creations. From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible, there's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell! How'd you end up getting used to that kind of thing? What do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... His cabin moved and Ryoshi came to a pause. It trembled, but there was at once a strange liveliness to it, so it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night crows crying for nightmares in the house of spiders. I was actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day. I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back. Yeah, that's nothing worth checking here anyway. The inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshi back. She stood in front of the artworks covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right there. There used to be huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse stuck him. The bastard went on about fussing, saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Mommy. What's wrong? Over there. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. I decided to attempt installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. Oh, people were screaming. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. It would. You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to our room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Sorry? No. Too big to be sorry. The lacerated memories can never be made whole no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshi everything we knew about Araya, but it never truly reached her. I see. This hollow void. This must be Araya. Sensation and emotion for what's been emptied to begin to entangle with Ryoshi's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how she was pleased with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately, none of the places we ended up stirred Ryoshi's memories any further. Pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. What the? How'd they get in here? Startled Kira pointed ahead, where figures in animal masks were holding what looked like a massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of sorts. Was ring assailants before? Didst thou not say thou hast sealed the door earlier? How then do these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be retrieval of the ring nurse father's artwork. Get on with it! We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. Hey, but I thought Robo-Unk was washed? I fucking love her so much. I thought Robo-Unk was washed. He's got that many he's got so many fangirls and fanboys here. Does his artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium death effect? Think about it. She's been fueling the reaction image side of the fandom for decades. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. But imagine how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on their description plaques. Pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting these objects for now, but they will likely soon find cause to harm Wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. That is just right. Better wipe them out before they try anything stupid. Guys, looks like we've got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio doesn't buzz with the sinner's replies this time, but it should be fine. I don't think it's fine! Hold up!
다들 재료 손질이 빨라지지 않았어?
좋은 재료 덕에 신이 난 것 아니겠소?
양반이 떠올랐다. 엄마는 무기라면 뭐든 잘 다뤘어. 그중 제일 뛰어난 게 검이었고.
나쁘지 않고.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
일리 있는 의견이다. 그걸로 하지.
안 남았어도. 바이올렛 브레이크 슬램!
아까처럼만 해.
Good job.
그럼 이번 전투도 쉽게 갈 수 있을 거야.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
방금 움찔했소. 저기가 약점인 것 같아.
양반이 떠올랐다. 아이씨, 짜증나게.
How does she fuck? We should be fine. We have fucking Homelander here. Hello.
이제 끌고 가도 될 것 같아.
빨리빨리 옮기시오.
Cool, closing time.
찾았어.
예사롭지가 않은데? 아주 작살을 내놨어.
연장 솜씨가 현란하죠. 선물 만들고 도구 연습만 하는 것이오.
Do it.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지.
왜냐면
두드려
예술.
패.
어릴 땐 몰랐어.
전부 녹여서
왜
썰어버려도
엄마가
상관없지.
삼촌들이랑 말도 못 섞게 했는지. 그 외부 강사들 손가락 안에서도
뭐?
내로라 하는 실력자들이었을 거야. 너희가 보여준 혹은 더 대단한 기술을
Someone new enters chat and says hi, bro. Like I know them, and I don't. Who? Masculine investigator.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
그 소재 가져갈래요.
If one were here, I'd like to point out that even the fucking guys we're fighting seem to be mostly blunt. Although there was a slash down
밑그림은
there.
완성했다. 빠르게 치라도.
Look in!
바이올렛.
Oh no, she got interrupted. It's kind of sad, actually.
와우, 벌써 재료를 저기까지 손질해둔 것이오. 오늘 공장 일찍 문 닫을 수 있을 것 같지요.
영감이
Still
떠올랐어요. 8번의 두께. 나쁘지 않아요. 지금처럼 엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을 다니며 많은 기억을 쌓아줘. 언젠가.
With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. My voice! I'm losing it! It's time for soda. Soda. Is that all of them? She kept glancing around as if she was searching for someone, but fortunately, no other room members were in sight. Right, but where the hell were those lot coming from anyway? Well, they weren't just the first wave, and more of the swords legging it in from back like they had been lurking somewhere else. According to the logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does the designation another corridor refer to? A room resembling a shopping mall, the one with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall, designated as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connections. Yeah, man, look, your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as if she was going through an inner struggle. Before long, she snapped out of it and she just locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you about, like, hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as home. My memories of it are all fragments at best. Scabbard gave a faint, restless stir as if it wanted to comfort Ryoshu the only way it could. I love emotional support, Scabbard. And accompanied by his tremor, we began to move towards the corridor of the middle.
약지에 감긴 세 바퀴의 반지는 마에스트로가 되기 위해 인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠. 비록 지금 제 작품이 많은 신들을 울리지는 못하더라도 여전히 반지에 부끄럽지 않은 작품을.
I thought that was a fucking Twitch sound effect for a second. I was like, what? It could do that? Something has severed this thread, snapping it into strands, truly. There is no such thing as an existence in complete homogeneity with another. For slicing a single thread reveals that it is in fact entwined into multiple fibers. When a thread is severed, it leaves not two separate threads, but a multitude of frayed strands. From this, we may learn that time, indeed, does not cure all wounds. The passage of time only unravels the frayed strands further, leaving weeping wounds that never heal. It's a long ass fucking. Shit.
전원 집합.
Long ass
이번
fucking
작품에 대해
INTERVALLO.
논의할 시간이다.
The heck? Despite everything that wasn't nailed down, huh? Press not! I speak through the half of thy worldly possessions. Articulated fixer figurines, video game cartridges. I'm not talking about my toy box, okay? I had hella many of them anyway. The TV's gone, the couch too. As Kira said, only conspicuous empty space was left where the television and family couch set used to be. Oh, those. The LCE researchers hold them away from the sound of it. They're going to set them up at their staff lounge. Another reason for you to join the LCE, Kira! As for their ornaments, they said they'll be selling them off. Yeah? I seemed to be noticed the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. I seemed to notice something the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. Corners of her lips cold and faint smile as she spoke with a faint nonchalance. Who knows? With sufficient cooperation, perhaps they might be receptive to the idea of returning those items. Assuming much? I never said I wanted them back. Anyway, I'll tell you about what I know. So come this way if you want in. These two doors here made from paper and wood. They connect to S-Corp. That one reinforced with steel, that one leads to V-Corp back streets where, having lived there and made a frequent use of the doors herself, Kira was clearly the right person for the job of identifying where each doorway fair company had asked us to explore led. Directed by Kira and accompanied by Alan, we checked the doors one by one. Good work. All data seems to match. Thank you for your cooperation. The doors is one back door left to open. I know this isn't anything new, but I've got to say, these back doors are just too bloody convenient. And portals too. And I ain't doing anything shady like warp trains either, is it? Yours is as simple as turning the knob and entering. Seems to me like you'll outpace your business rival in no time. I'm a bit hard pressed to agree with the too convenient sentiment when it comes to using the back doors and portals, but Since your intent was to claim Wayfarer's superiority over the current W Corp, I'll take that as a compliment. Or is saying something wrong? Every technology comes with a cost. Heathcliff. Happily said. While this has been a work day, relatively free of casualties thanks to the quality information you have provided. Do understand that Wayfarer Company's primary services include pathfinding, path security, and path maintenance. Each of those services is fraught with life-threatening dangers for our employees. Some never even return after embarking on a pathfinding journey. Some are killed while battling monstrous entities whose exact natures haven't been confirmed yet, that appear in the liminal space between paths. Oh, fuck, dude! This costs a pretty penny to keep the secure path, well, secure. I'd say our operating cost is rather steep, especially considering that we are also trying to prevent our rivals from taking this corner of the market. Take it back, I don't think I've ever seen Alan enter a door to a location with his helmet off. Must have been one of his precautions, just in case. Maybe his dry smile and unsettling lack of reaction to anything are hints that we've simply seen too much to be faced by most horrors. Still, our work's gone considerably easier for this job thanks to the help from everyone here. Honestly, this partnership is working much better than I expected. Very well then, let's take a look at the last door. It's the door Papa used to walk through all the time. Before I clear into the door, and the second I crossed over the threshold, a breeze carrying an oddly familiar, salty smell tickled to the tip of my one of my clock hands. This one connects to somewhere in the general Great Lake area, it seems. Welcome to U-Corp's giant Stingray port ship. Stingray, huh? Where does that ring a bell? Hang on a minute. It's that place, isn't it? That port ship that had saloon Look, I swear to fucking God! The private air salon! I swear to God! Heathcliff chimed in with a shudder, as though the sheer weight behind his words terrified him. Oh, doth it signify then we shall finally made an audience with young Heathcliff and his hairdo most luscious? Quit it with that luscious nonsense, Lash. Why encourage me when we're so cavalier about blasting my villainous ass back at the lake? Indeed. Alas, 'tis true the punishment had brought your merry band has severely outweighed the crime. Wouldst thou not agree, young Heathcliff, that to put the coupons to use would remedy the pain just a smidge? Ah, bugger it. I ain't even got anyone to spruce up for anymore. Ah! Sweet, can I use them? We were regulars at that Maloo place, Papa and me. Papa would ask the middle fam for a favor and he'd bring loads of coupons back home and they'd give him a hair coupon every 10 visits, you see, so I... Why am I yapping about all that excited? Kira, who seemed ready to launch into a cheerful rant, came to a abrupt pause and like a bike tripping over a ledge. Her face fell as she lowered her gaze and scuffed a pebble away. Looking back, I guess Papa did hella care for me, so why? But it's also true these guys went out of their way to get me out of here, even though they didn't know me so well. Why is it all gonna be so complicated? Matthias gave you that unesthetic BC? The heck's a BC? Bold cut. Bro, listen. Like I said, that's not how you show them these things. For some reason, Ryoshi seemed almost gleeful to hear the Kira correcting her acronym. It was reminiscent of that self-satisfied look she gave after confusing us with these acronyms, especially during our early days of our bus journey. Think back. Ever since Sinclair's translation became reliable enough, the sinners had less reason to voice their frustrations with Ryoshi's acronyms, which in turn gave her fewer causes to snake her about. I'm not sure why, but something tells me that she might be making her acronyms ridiculously incomprehensible on purpose. If your conjecture is correct, Executive Manager, she has one tasteless sense of humor. From what I recall, the toys and games he was into pretty retro. Must have been annoying to play along. At first, but the more I played along, the more I got into it. So corny and juvenile as shit, though. I know aught of that conflict within thee. trifling and apocryphal they may be, yet we were all compelled to peer hindwards within the interest of family. Yeah. I wanted to know what Papa was into, to really get what he was talking about. Besides, I needed to know these things if I wanted to chat him up to talk about a mutual subject, so... He'd tell me about you all the time, Yoshihide. Proud shit. Not a day went by without him saying stuff like, Yoshihide learned this in 2 days, or yo, this was Yoshihide's fave, you know? Too bad I wasn't there to tell you that his words weren't worth shit. I once thought of him the same as you do now. A good man, at least among the nurse fathers, caring enough to bring me gifts. But one day I realized that he'd never understand the things I really cared about, even if his life depended on it. One day, thou sayest? Pray tell, was there aught that had changed thy perception of that man? That I don't remember when or why, just that it happened. Wait, I might know this. Was it something that happened at school? Papa told me that things have started getting awkward between you and him ever since you quit school. Bullshit, I've never been to school. I never thought of wanting to go to school. Matthias must have been talking out of his ass again. Huh? No way, bro. I even saw a clip of it. What? Papa showed me the video where he was teaching me how to use these doors. We saw a baby you going, I'm off to school, Dad. And that for the video. So I'm pretty dang sure. But I don't... As Kira went on, Ryoshu's confidence from his initial retort seemed to slip away. Couldn't blame her. So much of her memory had been mutilated. Ryoshu didn't sound like she was denying it out of hand, though. She seemed to mean it when she said she'd never been to school or never had wanted to. And I wanted to glimpse the fragment of memory that made her say that. The moment I willed it, a scene from her past suddenly flashed across my eyes. Very well, Yoshihide, I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. There is a subsidiary of the ring. Academy. Sure it's a school? Not like an art academy or something like that? Wait, that kind of makes more sense, yeah? Must have been an academy, not a school. Academy of Art. Ryoshi muttered a few words as though they were pieces of a puzzle she was assembling. Then, after a brief moment, she turned toward me with an astounded scoff and looked of mild irritation. Clock, you deserve a smack. Then lightly smacked me upside the head with her scabbard. What was that for? This memory sucks, Clock. I would have been just fine without it. But at least I got to remember the incident that changed my perspective on Matthias. Then, how do I go to school? School, Yoshihide? Well, I don't see why you would wish, let alone need, to go to such an institution when we nurse fathers are here to provide you with all the education you require. You would later find our unique style of homeschooling to have been much more enlightening than trudging through any of the nest's formulaic educational systems. But Dad, I saw him in the picture book. I don't have any friends here. Oh, the end is pointless. But it is true. There are qualities that can be learned only through group erudition that engenders competition. Very well, Yoshihide, I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from a school. Really? I intend to send Yoshihide to the academy as part of my educational curriculum. There's an Academy of Art, a subsidiary of the Ring. Companionship with other talented children of approximately her age will nourish the spirit of inspiration that will guide Yoshihide's growth. The prescript approves. But Callista, I'll tell you now that you might be making a mistake. And how are you so certain of that? Do elaborate if you can, hand puppet of the prescript, by whom every aspect of existence is articulated. What do you even know of choice, of what is right and wrong? And off they went. Perhaps a little more than situational awareness would have prevented what is to come. Callisto found me a rather decent academy. The artworks that used to scare me when I was alone weren't so bad when I was with other kids. No, that's not quite it. It'd be more accurate to say that I started to understand people's perspectives on beauty. Of course, I would. When all we did was ever nod along to the lectures and spout purple prose, all the while making pincushions out of the people's bodies like it was nothing. Our lesson today will focus on corporist techniques. Now, take a good look at the diagram here, and then the mannequins before you. Weave the blood vessels in the same pattern as the diagram, and I don't know why we're even learning about corporist stuff in this day and age. Right? I don't get what the point of this slog is, tying and shaping blood vessels to make a color that a drop of ink could do better. I read that in a book. I'm more excited about a cubist technique than this crap. Honestly, why is this washed up movement even a part of the curriculum? It's just boring, shallow, gore stuff. No, it's yeah, it's gory, but it's boring. But it's boring and shallow only because you guys are bad at it. But oh, you mad because your daddy's a lame corporist? Oh, is he? No wonder he's just stuff. Oh! I was taught that people who say bad things about my family deserve to get their butt kicked. That bad-mouthing Callisto wasn't actually what set me off. I didn't have special reverence for attachment to family like Matthias did, either. It's just what I was taught to dislike, that's all. It's one of those tantrums kids of that age have. Kids will be kids and all that. I'm home, Dad. Hey, buddy, you're a Melly! Oh man, must have been playing rough today, huh? Got dust all over. Got into a fight. Fine. Yeah, they kept saying dumb things about class stuff, so I smacked them. What about you? They didn't hit you anywhere, did they, buddy? On my cheek, but it's okay, because I punched them this many more times. Did you do good? That's my girl. Dad? Where are you going? Oh, you know, just get some business to take care of. Why don't you sit tight and work on a coloring book? Dad will be home before you know it. Okay. Is bro business? No, it's family business. I ain't seen what's so bad about taking care of your own. The snotty sods didn't learn respect lest you beat it home to him. If only he'd been a simple-minded fool like you, the story would have ended right there with a pat on my head. What? Papa, I mean, the middle doesn't stop there. It never does. You hurt a member of the family, that automatically gets you written up in the book. Yeah, and he did what he did in the end. I'm sorry I'm laughing at this. I find it such a ridiculous fucking situation. Huh? Haha, there you are, Yoshihide. Is class starting already? My diligent little girl. Wonder who she takes after. Dad? I know. I said I'd be back before you know it, but I got a bit lost trying to find my way through the ring bosses, tricky mazes. You know how they are. Oh yeah, and there's so many sniveling brats here. Well, as for their crimes, I slapped my buddy's face hard enough to leave a mark. That's an arm for you. As for the instructors, well, anyone agreed that they did one sorry job of keeping those tykes under control. In that case, pursuant to Title 2, Section 52, execution by beheading. They clearly don't got much use for what sits on their shoulders, eh? How do you like it, buddy? Papa's the best, ain't he? How dare he? Such senseless, barbaric violence! Uncultured, uncivilized animal! Do not be discouraged, dear Yoshihide. I have eyed out yet another academy worthy of your talents. It is a much more significant and prestigious institution this time. I assure you, even an interpreted berserker like Matthias would dare force his way into such a place, as he did in previous academy. Don't wanna... Yoshihide? So, like, okay, I'm just saying, now, I'm just saying, this ties into what I was saying before. It's not that it's not that Matthias doesn't care. It's that he doesn't know how to care. And doesn't want to learn. he doesn't know what he really should do in that situation, and he refuses to learn. Also, he was a member of the middle, like, it's kind of just, like, extreme. But it's what they do. He literally just doesn't know. He's probably got some shit going on in his head. And he doesn't know how to express caring for someone. I don't want to go to Camry. I don't want to go. I don't need friends anyway. For all this posturing, nothing that was ever important to me held any significance to Matthias. He took a lot away from me just to feel good about himself. So I hoped he, more than anyone, would never find the things that I held dear, because I was afraid he would take them away from me like he did all the others. But he'd always catch on faster than he'd had any right to. Every contract that took me away from the House of Spiders made me tremble in anxiety, because I was worried about, I don't remember what, but I do know I could never stop thinking about my room. So whatever occupied me in the room in my absence must have been a precious thing to me, the world. Scabbard, which had been stirring lightly as Ryoshi recounted her past, soon began to rattle audibly. It's doing that thing again. Ryoshi patted the scabbard with a gentle, reassuring hand. A scabbard that was once a Raya, a memory without attachment. It appeared to me almost as though she was pacifying a crying child. Seeing that gesture, Heathcliff briefly cast a sullen, yet faintly expectant gaze between Ryoshi's scabbard and my device. He must be thinking back to his last conversation with Catherine. Catherine's existence, unlike Araya's, was erased by Golden Bow itself. I doubt this device could do anything for Heathcliff at this point. From everything we know, the ring nurse father seems to have been the least awful parental figure in your childhood. Huh? Yeah, didn't know that Roboank was such a radical guy. Sent you to academy like you wanted, and even got angry on your behalf? Oh. Hazy memories. Almost forgot to mention. A few days after that, Callisto left a snowman by my pillow. As a gift, it was made of heads. Heads? Yep, decapitated heads from the incident at the academy! God fucking damn! Threaded together into a sculpture. Thinking back, it was one sorry excuse for art. You sorely mistaken if you thought some low-effort bullshit could make me feel better. Well, see, this is I think where people misunderstand both Callisto and Matthias, because in the same way, both of their forms of abuse aren't something they're doing on purpose. Matthias, from what we see, genuinely thinks that this would make for Yoshu happy. Or Yoshihide happy. Genuinely thinks this is the best for her. And for the same reason, Callisto genuinely thinks that this would make Yoshihide happy. Genuinely thinks is the best for her. Neither of them understand how traumatic this is and how horrible this is. Could have spared us the details, lass. Well, with that covered, do you want to guys want to head back? Hang on. What's up? Gonna get that luscious treatment before heading back? Shut it, you. That ain't it. Look over there. Those blokes walking out of the salon. Pelvis, they found us. It would not be odd to find a field of branch rings art movement in different districts of the city, especially that of the Falvis scale. However, various evidence such as their masks and the fact that our group has immediately drawn their attention suggests that they are in the same pack as the one making regular incursions into the House of Spiders. This is LCB speaking team leader Alan, requesting immediate commencement of lockdown sequence. Cover that. Then why don't we... Holy shit, guys, stop! Bloody hell, what? Don't you know where you are? You're smack dab in the middle protected turf. Cause a scene and brothers and sisters in the middle will be here any second. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be a problem. Oh yeah, no, Valentina like... Valentina has no, like, qualms with it thinking that what she's doing is a horrible thing to do. Because in her moments of caring, quote unquote, she doesn't do that. We've already drawn the rings unwanted attention. We certainly don't want the middle coming after us to the House of Spiders too. Sounds like you've got a GI. Talk. Ever played whack-a-mole? Like, why give ourselves a countdown? Just head back through the door and now beat him whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk in through the door. She puts the force of sound strategy, Executive Manager. As long as there's no high-ranking officer among them, it would be to our benefit. Well then, let's do as Kira says. That was quick. Alan blinked, shooting us a puzzled look as our entire squad came pouring in through the door long before he finished the lockdown sequence. Due to newly emerged complications past the door, we have concluded that this location is the optimal point to intercept and engage the infiltrators from the ring. This location, you say? Wait, so the door leads to a zone under the Syndicated Wing's protection, doesn't it? Better idea to fight here, then. Happy to work with someone quick on the uptake. As long as PM Moon doesn't have to make a new battle backdrop. As long as the Falvers... it wasn't long before the Falvers began rushing in through the open door. I don't want to summon them while they're relaxing, but, well, it can't be helped. I summon Sinners back to work. Not even checking at this point, bro.
내가 응원하는 게 도움이 되긴 하려나? 힘내긴 해보자고.
고작 이런 걸로 길이
Something I still need to address.
아니, 너희의 흐름은 연결된 끈은 너희가 생각한 것보다 이번 지위를 작품이라 생각하면 낙제점이다.
서두르지 말고 느긋하고 여유롭게.
이세가 올랐어. 적군들에게 본때를 보여줘도 될 것 같은데?
일리 있는 의견이다. 그걸로 하지.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
한 방 먹였네. 이 기세를 모아서 뚫어보자고.
일리 있는 의견이다. 그걸로 하지.
Oh yeah. You ever use a Malkuth will kill us somehow?
안 남았어도 이 정도쯤은.
여기 걸어다니는 노다지가 해롱해롱하고 있음.
당장 손질하라옹.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지. 제대로 두드려 패.
보여드려야겠군요. 외면의 예술을.
방금 건 제대로 한 건 했어. 돌아가면 맥주라도 사야겠는걸?
일리 있는 의견이다. 그걸로 하지.
Wait, wasn't you guys in that crowd?
예사롭지가 않은데?
아이씨,
아주
짜증나게.
작살을 내놨어.
도와주시는군요.
Gameplay wise, what's your favorite team? It's kind of been poised for a while.
이제야 친해졌네요.
저것들
방금 건 제대로 한 건 했어.
녹여서 썰어버려도
돌아가면 맥주라도
상관없지?
사야겠는걸?
나쁘지 않군.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
엄마는 무기라면 뭐든 잘 다뤘어.
아까처럼만 해. 그럼 이번
그중
전투도
제일
쉽게 갈 수
뛰어난
있을
게
거야.
검역기. 저의 뼈로 틀을 잡고 저의 살로 채워놓은 외면의 예술. 이제야 친해졌네요. 혈관의 두께 나쁘지 않아요. 지금처럼 엄마와 함께
Oh well,
이곳저곳을
where
다니며
why did not tell
많은
Ryoshi?
기억을 쌓아줘. 언젠가 그 중에서 가장 멋진 곳에 나를 데려갈 수 있게.
약지에 감긴 세 바퀴의 반지는 마에스트로가 되기 위해 인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠. 비록 지금 제 작품이 만인의 신금을 울리지는 못하더라도 여전히 반지에 부끄럽지 않은
Is it much more
작품을
into this intervallo? Because I might need to end it here. I'll do an early stream tomorrow if but yeah. I'm tired. You're halfway. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. If you enjoyed, feel free to follow. If you didn't, there's no scratch of my back. Do not leave yet because we're going to be raiding someone. We are going to be raiding.
금일 야근은
We're going to be raiding Scorp, who's also playing the Intervallo. So watch that.
무기한으로 진행한다고 팀 내에 전달하겠습니다.
Join the raid. Otherwise, I'll turn you into fucking random pointless artwork. Or farthest. I haven't decided yet. Have a great day, and adios. Bye-bye.